Welcome back to the West Coast Davengers. I'm your host, Dave, and just want to say thank you to everybody that's recently subscribed and my longtime subscribers and everybody in between. You know, there's the bread and then there's the meat. I don't know what that means. Every Wednesday is West Coast Wednesday, my comic claim sale right here on YouTube, and every Sunday you're watching a new video just like this right here. Every other Monday, every 2 weeks, I drop a new episode of my podcast with Manu, the 9.9 newsstand. It's called It Came from the Newsstand, and it's just an extension of me and my friend Manu, who is not on the show right now, but you can imagine he's standing here right now waiting to see the grades on these CGC books. Anyway, this episode's going to have a little bit of everything for everybody. If you're into the graded thing, well, I got a couple of graded books back, and you can see me either wince in pain or, rejoice. And also, right here, oh my god, it's so heavy. That's what she said. I'm gonna unbox a recent purchase off of Heritage Auctions, and it's not original art, but it's signed prints. And if you're really into great comic book artists and great artists in general, you're gonna want to see what's in that box. I haven't even seen it yet. So we've got two CGC submissions that have come back. Single book submissions. One is unlimited value, and one is the high value tier. Now, I know what's in the unlimited value one, but you don't. I know the book that's in the high value. I have left the grade a surprise. So in this box is going to be an Aquaman #1 from 1963. And I assessed the grade to be around an 8.0. It went to Epic Comicology, Taj, to get pressed and cleaned. And then off to CGC. That was part of a collection that I had bought maybe like 2 months ago on this channel. You saw it was a Aquaman 1, 2, 3, and 4, a Ghost Rider 1, King Size Hulk #1, and a couple other books. This book in here came from the $16,000 collection from, I don't know, whatever that is, 4 or 5 videos ago. You can search it right here. Right on my channel, it says I paid $16,000 for comics. I know what the grade is, and you're going to see it. The name of this video is I'll Never Make That Mistake Again. Well, let's hope I never do. But that being said, a little background. I bought that collection for $16,000. At this point in time right now, I am in the profit on it. I still have a lot of books left, and this is the only book that I actually decided to get graded. And that book is an Amazing Spider-Man #2. I'm going to just show you a little bit of me flipping through it before I sent it off to Tosh to get worked on. We'll come back, we'll look at it, and then we'll keep going. That being said, look, I'm not a fan of graded books personally. I have maybe 25 in my personal collection just because they are books that I do love. But I do sell comics for a living, so I have to also understand that people collect graded books. And certain books need to get graded. I'm not here to argue that because it's personal opinion, but it's also a business. So let's take a look at this Amazing Spider-Man 2 Raw. Then we're going to go through this. Then we're going to go through this. Then we're going to go through this. And then I'll say goodbye. Amazing Spider-Man 2. The third appearance of Spider-Man and the first appearance of the Vulture. Obviously a historic comic book. Steve Ditko, Stan Lee. This book is absolutely beautiful. Now I'm going to take it out of the Mylar. But what you see is what you get. There is no lighting being used in this room. This is all natural light in here, so you're seeing the colors as they are. I did get a lower grade copy, but as you can see, this thing is just absolutely stunning. 1963, I believe. A couple of color breaks on here, but nothing major. Some cleaning definitely needs to be done on the spine and on the back. There's a mark on the back, but it is not a rip. It is a very, it's a dent. And, you can see some stuff on the spine. The pages are going to be probably off-white to white. They might get white pages because towards the center of the book, as a lot of Silver Age books go, that have really clean pages, as you get towards the center of the book, the pages just get brighter and brighter. And so I just wanted to make this video as a before. If I were to guess, the book sits as it is as a 7.0 to maybe a 7.5. Depending on what Epic Comicology can do, this book could be upwards of an 8.5 to a 9.0, which puts it into the over $10,000 range to closer to $20,000. But we'll see. You never know what's going to happen. It's going to cost me a little bit of money to get pressed and cleaned and graded, but that's okay because the couple of $100 I'm going to put in will be multiplied, obviously. All right, so as you could see, it was a beautiful copy. So when Taj worked on this book, he saw something on the top of the book that was like a little red that kind of like was on the inside of the front cover. And he said he couldn't tell if there was something wrong with it, if it was color touch or something, but it's just, he'd never seen anything like it before, and he's worked on books. But he put that in my head, and lo and behold, we knew it was going to be a high grade, but it came back an 8.0 with color touch. It's actually more restoration than we both. It is what it is. Now, at the time, I thought this was a really high grade copy, and I had rose-colored glasses on. I probably didn't see some telltale signs. Now, the staples replaced, I never would have seen that. They're kind of perfect. Whoever restored this years and years and years ago. But it's a really good job. It's an 8.0 white page color touch with, some spine glue and some pieces added to the cover. So it's a C2. Now, obviously, I wish it was an 8.0 Blue Label. Be nice, right? $17,000 comic. That being said, this book's valued around 5 to 6, maybe a little bit more. I've seen a 7.5 in a purple label on this book go for a little over $4,500 before shipping and tax. So you're looking nearly $5,000 unless you live in a state that has very low sales tax. It's a disappointment in regards to, yes, I wish it was a blue label. But I'm pretty sure, actually, at the time of this video, I am like 80% that I have a sale on this book. I'm just waiting for it to go through. And the thing is, you take chances, and I guess you would call this a loss in regards to a blue label, but would I call it a loss as to when I sell this book, it's all profit? Absolutely not. It's a beautiful copy nonetheless, the restoration on it. It's his third appearance of Spider-Man, and you win some, you lose some, and sometimes you kind of like sacrifice fly. Yeah, let's call this a sacrifice fly, because when I sell this, I'll have scored a bunch of runs. So trying to look at that as a positive. I'm sure some of you in the comments are going to be like, blah, 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 and then I don't really care. Next is the Aquaman #1. We're going to see what this is together. I like surprise grades. The Spider-Man 2 was a little too much on the line, emotionally for me to not look at the grade before it got into my hands. But this Aquaman 1, if it comes back at 2.0, I'm going to be real surprised, because that would mean that CGC put it in a paper shredder before they graded it. I'm not an Aquaman fan. I like Silver Age books. I like high-grade Silver Age books for sale. Now, as long as this book, like I said, doesn't come back at 2.0, then this will mean that the collection that I bought, that this came in, very small collection, I've already recouped, I'd say, about $400 of the $1,000 I spent. The Ghost Rider 1's at grading, and the Aquaman 2 and 3 are also at grading. So we have a chance to get some really high grade books back from the submission. Let's take a look and see what I got. We'll do it together. We'll drop down the cardboard, and you'll see it actually technically before me. Oh, nice! It's a 7.5 off-white to white Aquaman #1 from 1962. Wow, this book's a lot more beautiful than a 7.5, but I see where I see why it's a 7.5. There's basically like a strip of tanning that's right on the left-hand side on the spine. And then there's a little fold color breaks here in the corner. A 7.5 in a 1962 book. Now, look, an Amazing Spider-Man 2 in a 7.5 would be like a $15,000 book. An Amazing Spider-Man 1 in a 7.5 would be a lot more. But hey, the first ongoing series of Aquaman, the first appearance of Quisp. I'm not really upset about that, I gotta say. No insults to Aquaman. It's just, I don't talk to fish. So that was the 2 CGC books. And, obviously the Spider-Man 2 is what it is. But once again, not going to be losing money. And honestly, that's really all you need to worry about in business is don't lose money. Break even. Make a profit. You just don't want to lose money. Look, I treat this as a business because it is. Whoa. Hi. Don't adjust your screens. We've got some breaking news. I got more CGC. I was actually finished editing this, and today I got on my door, and the FedEx man brought me more books. This should be the vintage part of the submission. I can't remember if there's 3 or 4 books in here. I can tell you the 3 I do remember: Ghost Rider 1, Aquaman 2, and Aquaman 3. I decided to edit this in, and so it's me from the future talking to you in the middle of my past. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Dr. Strange, because this truly is the multiverse madness. Without any further ado, we're going to see what books came back in what grade. I do not know the grades. Shit, I barely even remember the books. Well, we'll find out together. So happy together, I can see you love you. All right, this definitely feels like just 3 books. Wait, let's count. 1, 2, 3. No, it's 4 books. All right, well, it's going to be a true surprise for me, and even more of a true surprise for you. All right, so we've got an Aquaman number 3. So we're starting with Aquaman number 3, and let's find out together. We've got an 8-0. An 8-0 on an Aquaman 3. So this is better than the number 1. The number 1 I got as a 7-5. Nick Cardy cover. 1962 8-0 book. Come on, you can't really, I can't be upset about things like that. All right, so what do we have here? We've got the Aquaman 2. This is so awkward. I'm doing this so awkwardly. I hope you enjoy it. We've got the Aquaman number 2. Ooh, an 8-5. So we've got Aquaman number 1 in a 7-5, Aquaman 2 in an 8-5, and Aquaman 3 in an 8-0. I knew these were going to be higher grade books, and man, it's a beauty. Absolute beauty. It's interesting to me because Silver Age books, I don't have a ton of experience with getting high grade. I've got a couple 8-0s and stuff. The Silver Age books that I've typically graded have all been in the 6.5, 5.5 range. So it's really nice to get, you know, some really beautiful Silver Age books. All right, so I'm going to say that this is probably, just kind of looking at the back, this is probably the Ghost Rider number 1. But I'm not 100% sure, so we'll flip it around. And it is, oh, I forgot. I asked him to submit this Iron Man 55, and we got a 6-0. So this is my second Iron Man 55. First appearance of Thanos' mentor, Drax, Star Fox, and Kronos, and the Blood Brothers. Huge book. He did such a good job on this book. I cracked this out of a 5.5 or a 5.0. And he bumped it to a 6.0. It had a really nasty spine roll on it. So he really did a great job on this. And that leaves us one book, which would be the Ghost Rider number 1. So this had a stain on the back. And I don't want to look at the back because I don't want to ruin the grade for myself. But this thing had a stain on the back. Other than that, this thing is really beautiful. I was hoping for a 9.0. I really don't know if I'm going to get it. But I was really hoping for a 9.0 on this. Yeah, we didn't get it. We got an 8.0, which... Look, I'm not upset about it at all. It's still a great grade on this book. The first ongoing series of Ghost Rider. And just a beautiful book altogether. He did a really good job on lightening that stain. And that's probably why it got an 8.0. Just because he wasn't able to get it all out. Because who knows how long it had been stained for. But really took that stain down from being noticeable to almost unnoticeable. Ghost Rider 1, 8.0. Iron Man 55 and a 6.0. Aquaman 2 in an 8.5, and Aquaman 3 in an 8.0. All right, so I'll throw it back to you, Dave, from 3 days ago. This business does not really exist without my pure love for art, comics, writing, storytelling, all of that. Art is a big thing for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you this cool lot of original prints that are signed that I bought off Heritage, and I haven't even seen them yet. I haven't even seen photos of all of them yet because it was sold in a lot. This will take 3 seconds in your time. Well, another surprise for me, there's also some original art in here. I won 2 lots in this auction. Totally forgot about the original art. I thought it was coming separately. Now, last time I bought signed prints from Heritage. The way they packed them actually damaged one of them. And I'm hoping that this is a different story. They do a good job of making sure that, you know, nothing can get bent. But when it comes to taping, they tape so with no room to really get the tape off, because you rip the tape off, you have a chance of pulling up the prints. So let's fast forward this again. All right. Y'all get ready for a treat. From a comic that I personally really enjoyed reading. I've talked about it before briefly because I found it in a couple collections that you've seen me unbox. But this is 2 pages from Savage Dragon Destroyer Duck. The artist on this, the penciler on this is Chris Marinan. This is inked by Erik Larsen, creator of Savage Dragon. And Destroyer Duck was a character created by Steve Gerber that was helped along by Jack Kirby and Neil Adams and other artists to help Steve Gerber pay for his legal fees when he was trying to get the rights for Howard the Duck back. These are great pages. I got them at a steal. I got them for, I think, less than $250 a page. Larsen's inks make the art look like he was the penciler, but lots of action. Savage Dragon and Destroyer Duck aren't on these pages, but I still really like the energy and the vibe and the line work on it. So really excited to throw these into my collection, and I think if I ever see more pages from the book, I'm just going to try and pick them up. It would be really cool to just collect that book. It's not a big book, and it might fly under a lot of people's radars, but I do enjoy it. So pick it up if you ever see it, because it's a fun read. All right, so let's go with the prints. Now, some of you may know Dave Stevens from Rocketeer fame. Also, he's known as one of the greatest Betty Page artists of all time. And speaking of, this first print is they're all signed by Dave Stevens, and they're all numbered. 1994, numbered out of 1200, is this great Betty Page print. I'm going to do this print last. You're going to see it for the first time along with me. All right, so now from 1994, we also have, these are all Dave Stevens prints. We have a great Vampirella print. This one, I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be barbed wire, but if it's another character, I'm not completely sure. I'm just going to cover this up just in case the YouTube police try and come after me for showing a piece of art that just happens to have a female breast on it. Oh my God. Oh! This one has a little wear on it, but it is gigantic. This is, I believe, the cover to Cheval Noir #1. And it's signed right here. This one's not numbered. It's called Masks. Dave Stevens, Rackham Productions. And it has a little doodle right there of the Rocketeer on bottom. So I hope this doesn't get me flagged for showing some butt cheeks. Oh my God. What will we do if they find out that I showed an ass? I think the last of the Stevens print is right here. Now this one, wow. It is a Vampirella print. It's called Back from the Grave. Has a little stamp here. It's huge. This thing was never even taken out. It's numbered out of 850. It's signed on the bottom. It's so big. It's gigantic. I don't even know if you could see this all. It hurts to stretch this high. My wingspan. But Vampirella sitting on her grave, back from the dead. There's a Dave Stevens tombstone in the lower right corner. Now, some of these will be for sale. Not all of them, because I have to decide what I want to keep. This one particularly, this was the one when I saw the lot and I'm like, ooh, Dave Stevens and this print? One of my favorite artists, one of your favorite artists, the incomparable, legendary Bernie Wrightson doing a print. This one's called Ode to a Scottish Prayer, and obviously y'all know that I love Scotland. I was there this year. You watch some of those videos. You can see the Wolfman. You can see Dracula. That looks like a hunchback. I mean, it's just a very horror, Bernie print. It's signed on the bottom. It's numbered 406 out of 450, and it's from Ghoulies, Ghosties, Long-Leggedy Beasties, Things That Go Bump in the Night. May the good Lord deliver us. This one, absolutely fantastic. I'm so excited to own this. I'd never seen this image before. And when I saw this was a part of this lot, I was like, okay, there's a no-brainer because I would pay at least $100 for this no matter what. This was a print lot of 7. Both Bernie and Dave are no longer alive. They're not going to be making more of these. The people that own these, there's a lot that are in homes, in collections, in frames on walls, wherever it is. And this is just another reason why I absolutely love the print art form. Like, it's a way to own a nice piece of art, hopefully signed, and you don't have to go and spend, whatever. This would probably be a $20,000 painting, or maybe a $50,000 painting. I don't even know. I just lost a Bernie Wrightson piece on Heritage, that ended up going for, I think, $9,000 or something. So this was a nice little consolation prize. But all in all, a great mail day. A lesson learned, a good judgment call on the Aquaman, and an even better judgment call on bidding on this stuff on auction. So I hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you're wondering what I'm going to do with some of this stuff. Well, the only way to find out is to join on Wednesday for West Coast Wednesday, where you can buy some of this stuff from me. And that's pretty much the exclusive place that I will sell live. You can also check out the link tree below. There's links to my eBay store where I sell some stuff that's not fit for comic book claim sales. And the links for the podcast are down below as well. So I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit the like button. So I'll see you next week on the West Coast Davengers, Mr. Art Guy. I'm definitely trapped behind this desk. My love for comics does not really exist